Perfect. I didn't hear that. Like, won't desert you.
One of the things the school wanted was like a big request.
Alright. Alright.
Yeah, I wore my blazer so it was so hot so that when I got back in I could take it off and just leave it. Yeah. And then they did a driving thing so that no one got out of their car. Well, they thought the parade and her son were going to watch it.
Can you hear me now?
So, and then after the projector, they come around to the front of the school, drop off their parents, grab them across the stage.
Oh, the camera. Okay, that makes more sense.
It started at 7:30 and it ended at. I took the last portion shot on flags at like 11:30. Yeah. But I like immediately I had to shower because I was sweating. So I showered immediately after that. I probably fell asleep at like 1:25 and then I had to leave at 5:30 to go up. And I was there until 4:30. And then I had to drive home. Yeah, no, I know. But then I had to drive home. And I didn't drive home, just drive immediately. They closed for like 5 minutes.
He texted me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. He had a good one.
The shoulders,
and then it was
like he didn't like
right.
Louis.
Bueno.
Hey, Lou. How we doing?
Pretty good.
Hi, ladies. This might as well be it. Yeah, they can manage the Have to keep learning to show up. Around my waist. I have them. Yeah. They work well. I got one for you. It's good, yeah.
Thank you. About how many left to register?
You want me to get you like 10 minutes? They're all gathering, but they haven't started to walk yet. Okay.
Louis, want a cup of water?
I'm okay.
Good? I see bottles out. Yes, I see them. Oh, shoot, lady.
Are those? No, it's fine. I am.
Yeah, just as nice and cold. That's a good place to hang out.
Oh, next. Roll time. Oh, can you imagine? Good morning. Good, how are you? Thank you very much.
Alrighty.
Sun thinks I'm crazy, but I said it's kind of crazy, but thank you.
Well, good. A little warmer today, but we'll get through it. We have water underneath the seat.
God, I feel bad for you guys. The black and the hat.
I'd rather be in the, I have short stays under this, but
Good,
that's okay.
good.
You know what? We'll make it special. It'll be nice.
Yesterday it was beautiful.
We're going to get through all three today. So.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so the cooling room is when you walk in, the house is 128 A and B. Those are all air conditioned. We have everything. Hopefully you don't get too hot in the day. If you do, you can always step out and
Okay.
all right.
Thank
No
you.
problem. See you in a bit. How are you? Hello again.
Hello. Mr. Gomez is here, but he's not like starting with everyone else, so I'm not sure when they're gonna start walking. Okay. I think the speakers are just starting to come.
That many New Yorkers just said coffee at graduation.
I want to let you all know Hot Mike broadcasting live right now. Hot Mike broadcasting live. Whatever you want to talk about, you can hear it.
I love my job.
I know that. Saving jobs.
And I can do coffee right now. Coffee.
Positivity down.
Tell them, come on, kick out the house party.
The first day.
I told my kids I could see the house up and they didn't leave me. I had to walk out. Number 76, play like a champion. Come on. Don't let anyone see it.
I didn't even realize you had to come up so far.
Yeah, and there's the ridiculous. Yeah. No, but like if I'm not,
I would have rather not known.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing that right now. I'm changing it. you. Kidding me? This isn't the time for this.
And drink water if you have to. Yes. Set it under there. Stay hydrated, okay? I will. I don't want you pissing out. I'll try not to. What?
Can we do something about the shit, just space between? Can we lower the heat down a little bit? Thank you.
Alright, am I back?
I have to get rid of a battery.
Are you?
Good morning and welcome. Special guests, administrators, members of the Board of Education, teachers, parents, guardians, family and friends, and members of the class of 2020. Welcome to Mepham High School's 82nd annual commencement. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Thank you. Please be seated. Cool and positive thoughts today. Cool and positive thoughts. Okay. Before I begin, I want to remind you that thanks to Belmore Merrick Broadcasting and Mr. Stein, Ms. Kalish, Mr. Russell, and some student volunteers, we are live streaming this ceremony. Therefore, I ask that you do not attempt to stream from your own devices because you're here. We are using hotspots that can be slowed down or shut off completely if there's too much traffic. A recorded version of all ceremonies will get sent to all families by Tuesday. So today we celebrate and honor a special group of young men and women. The members of the class of 2020 are bright, creative, outgoing, and have embraced the Mepham spirit. Among this group of graduates are 200 National Honor Society members and 11 Gilder Lehrman Scholars. In addition, this class has been awarded over $9 million in scholarships and will attend some of the finest colleges in the country. Also, some students will serve our country and join the military, while others will use their skills to become productive members of the workplace. So let's all give each other a round of applause for that. While we are here today to celebrate the talented young men and women of the class of 2020, we also want to recognize our teachers, parents, and guardians for their support. Therefore, I ask our graduating seniors to take a moment and turn around and applaud and recognize their family members, also some of which are watching remotely at home, who have guided you through their years of education. So turn around, give them a high five, give them a round of applause. Come on. Now I would like to take a moment to recognize the leaders of this outstanding class. We thank our senior advisors, Ms. Kratzer, Dr. Ruscio, and our officers. If you're here, please stand. Senior Class President, Stephanie Simone. Vice President, Brianna Thier. Secretary, Chloe Shipley. Treasurer, Kirsten Knowles. With the assistance of Ms. Kratzer and Dr. Ruscio, these students have helped guide the class through their senior year and have contributed significantly to its success. Thank you and congratulations. You know, this school year, despite the way it ended, it was filled with exceptional pirate pride. We had our annual traditions, including homecoming, battle of the classes, the flag field of honor, fall and winter athletics, a Christmas carol, our holiday concert, and how can we not forget Mr. Mepham, just to name a few. In fact, right before the shutdown, our outstanding Kickline Pirates also achieved an unprecedented national champion in early March. So we got through 3/4 of the year with a lot of activities. These events, as well as our academic program, have helped mold the young adults that you are today. You've all contributed to a culture at Mepham that fosters artistry, athleticism, scholarship, and service. I'm certain that you'll continue to do so as you move to the next chapter in your lives. But during that next phase, please remember to take time to self-reflect to see how you can make this world a better place. Ask yourself, what really makes me a good person? What value can I offer? And most importantly, how can I be more compassionate and respectful? I'm sure that many of you have already asked yourself similar questions, especially during these recent and difficult times. In fact, the hard times in life actually help you become reflective so that you can learn from such challenges. I've always believed that if something doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Over the last few months, you have all continued to persevere, and you did your best to cope with the many challenges that were taking place around you. As a result, I'm certain that you will step into the future with more purpose, vision, compassion, and hope. But remember, that same grit that got you to this moment will sustain you through whatever is coming. It's vital that we all recognize to be at peace with the discomfort of stepping into the unknown. That way we could all listen and continue to learn from one another. I know that we're heading into an uncertain future and everyone says that things will not be the same as they were before, but I know that because of you, they will be better. Because we will all go through some tough challenges, but we'll learn who we are and what we value during such times. I believe that the future will even be better as we all become compassionate and productive citizens. When you look back at your years at Mepham, this year will likely stick out as one that made you a little bit more anxious, pushed you to your limits, but at the same time, this was also a year where you all experienced a tremendous amount of growth. You challenged your comfort zones, and you forced the kind of development that some of us may not have been ready for, but you all did the best that you could. Seniors, regardless of where you go and what you become, the support and encouragement of your families will always be there. So are the lessons that you learned at Mepham. I challenge you to use what you've learned to make this world, like I said earlier, a better place. Please remain hopeful, and remember, like I always say, with a positive outlook, you will all achieve positive outcomes. Congratulations again. Now, as a tradition that was started 12 years ago, I will turn the graduation ceremony over to the students and allow the senior class president to serve as our master of ceremonies. The class of 2020 has been fortunate to have Stephanie Simone as their president. As class president, Stephanie spent the last 2 years working with her fellow officers and planning various activities and fundraisers. Stephanie has proven to be a true leader both academically and athletically. She is dedicated, motivated, bright, and has a tremendous amount of pride in Mepham and in her class. Stephanie also served as a student representative on the Board of Education, and her leadership and character will always be remembered. Please welcome to the stage, Stephanie Simone.
Hello everyone. My name is Stephanie Simone and I am the senior class president. On behalf of the class of 2020, I want to welcome all faculty, staff, family, and friends here today. It is my honor to represent my class as we look back on our journey over the past 3.5 years. Back in September 2016, we were just freshmen, thrown together with upperclassmen who seemed years older and wiser. We were scared. We didn't understand there was a correct way to walk in the hallway, and we had no idea that there were rules governing who could sit on the senior ledge. More than anything, though, we looked up to the seniors, who looked like really old, really tall adults, who we thought had their lives all figured out. Well, here we are today, 4 years later, and I think it's safe to say those seniors really didn't have it all figured out. And now, as seniors ourselves, we don't have it all figured out either. Today, as many of us set our sights on college next year, or joining the workforce, or taking a gap year, or traveling, or enlisting in the service, we still have a lot of figuring out to do. I think most of us can remember some great times throughout high school, but let's rewind to our last first day together as seniors. We all woke up that September morning knowing it would be the one and only time we were actually happy to get out of bed at 6:30 in the morning. We were finally seniors, those tall, adult-looking kids who seemed to have it all figured out. We finally got to drive ourselves to school and park in the senior lot. We then walked through the back doors of Mepham and immediately headed for the senior ledge because it was now finally our ledge. We felt like we owned the world. Together, united, nothing could stand in our way. Soon it was time for homecoming, and once again, we owned the world. We all came together in the Mepham parking lot the Sunday night before the game and decorated our cars. Laughing, screaming, having the best time ever, we'll never forget that night. Then Spirit Week started, and again we made memories. Dressing up each day, there was no end to our creativity, our enthusiasm, our ability to put differences aside and become one unified class. Homecoming was September 28th. We took over the bleachers, some of us in our black senior jerseys, some of us with our chests painted, some of us with sunburns seared into a big P for Pirates. Our voices carried throughout the entire game as we cheered our football team on. The game was definitely closer than anticipated, but we won 14-7. As we left the game, we slapped each other 5, and we felt like we owned the world once again. Our last greatest moment together was Battle of the Classes. Although we didn't know it then, Battle of the Classes would actually be the last senior event of the year. No one expected the seniors to sell as many shirts as we did, but we blew the freshmen, softs, and juniors away and took what was ours, the large bleachers. As each senior walked into the gym dressed in black, we were there to win, and we did just that. And this year wasn't like the rest, where other grades seemed to have beat the seniors, but the seniors always won. We actually dominated, and we felt like we owned the world. Then a few months later, the world changed. On March 13th, an ordinary Friday, we walked through the back doors of Mepham as if it was any old, ordinary day. Yes, we were aware of what was going on, but we had no idea what would happen. We thought the school might be closed for a couple of days for deep cleaning, and we pick up a few days later where we left off. As we gathered at the ledge, my friend Kira said, "Guys, this could be our last day of high school." We all told her she was being crazy, and we each went our own way to class. The next day, though, our lives as seniors officially changed. We didn't return to school as planned. Not the next day, or the next week, or the next month. When May 1st rolled around and we were still sheltering at home, our hearts broke. May 1st, Commitment Day, a day when seniors historically dress up and tell the world what their plans are for the coming fall. A day when we tell the world we figured it all out. Needless to say, we were all blindsided by the coronavirus. We were never going back to high school, not to thank our teachers in person, get our yearbooks signed, wave to Principal Gomez or Assistant Principals Mr. Dell, Dr. Karn, and Mr. Safina. Never again sitting on the senior ledge. Never again saying goodbye to our classmates and acquaintances. Never again going to La Piazza or Chipotle during lunch. Never again going to a Mepham Pirates game. Never again being able to count down the days of our senior year. Despite the many nevers, the pandemic did, however, make us stronger. We became part of the first ever distance learning experiment Mepham had ever known. And we found ways to stay connected and unified. We learned that we never take anything for granted again. Our friends, our families, our teachers, our school. No one will ever understand the heartbreak and frustration we went through during this time. While trying to describe this day, I came across a quote by Oprah Winfrey to the class of 2020. "I know you may not feel like it, but you are indeed the chosen class for such a time as this. The class of 2020, you're also a united class, the pandemic class, that has the entire world striving to graduate with you. This is exactly right. We are a strong and powerful class. A class that has been united by all we have accomplished and all we've been through together. It's safe to say our graduating class is so much more than any other graduating class. We might not have it all figured out, but we still feel like we own the world. As we go forward in our individual goals, pursuits, and achievements, we'll remember that we're a united and powerful class, and a force to be reckoned with. I realize now that we're not leaving Mepham. Mepham is my family, and yours too. We're all part of a community that bonds us together, that brings us home in times of happiness and in times of trouble. We are all in this together, and we will always be in this together. Congratulations to you all. Once a pirate, always a pirate." Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Riley Cornell from our class, who would like to say a few words about Christopher Gleason, who we lost back in June 2017.
Christopher Gleason was my best friend, a friend who should be here with me, who was smart, kind, generous, and funny, the kind of friend that I would have kept for life. I met Chris on the first day of kindergarten at Newbridge Road School. and as my mom likes to tell me, the first thing I said when I came out of class that day was, "So I met this boy. His name is Chris and he's really funny." And from that day in kindergarten until the day that Christopher passed away, he was always my best friend. Even if we didn't talk as frequently, I always knew that he was somebody that would be there for me forever, and I would be there for him as well. He was super smart, hilarious, and amazingly kind. He was like a brother to me and my little sister Lily, who loved him so much. I cherish all the memories I have with him by my side, whether it was going to the beach, performing in talent shows, movie nights, or just hanging out with each other. All of it is held in a special place in my heart. Chris was always willing to lend a hand, a smile, and a hug whenever you needed it. He was a loyal and loving friend. He was always there for everyone, no matter the circumstance. He deserved to be here today, to be graduating with all of us, and to be moving on to achieve all of his goals and dreams that I am sure he would have achieved. He never would have let anything stop him from getting to the amazing future ahead of him. I'm truly heartbroken that I will never get to see the things that he would have achieved. The only thing that makes me smile about losing him is that I know he's with me every single day in my heart, and I know he's watching us and congratulating us right now. He'll be part of my world forever, and I hope he is always remembered for being the amazing person he was.
Thank you, Riley. The traditional definition of a high school salutatorian is the student with the second highest average in the graduating class. Spencer Mattis, the salutatorian of the class of 2020, is an outstanding student on so many levels. As an AP scholar with distinction, Spencer possesses a genuine love of learning that is evident in all that he does. Spencer is an integral member of the Mepham community and has participated in many extracurricular activities. He is not the guy who just concentrates on schoolwork. Rather, he continues to thrive on being a lifelong learner. Spencer is by far one of the most beloved and respected students at Mepham. Spencer will continue his education in the fall at Binghamton University in their Scholars Program. Ladies and gentlemen, your class salutatorian, Spencer Mattis.
Good morning, Principal Gomez. Speak on that question. Let's start that again. Good morning, Principal Gomez, Assistant Principals, Mr. Del Rosario, Mr. Safina, and Dr. Karn, teachers, administrators, parents, distinguished guests, and graduates. Or good afternoon, depending on what time of day your ceremony is being held. My name is Spencer Mattis, and it is both a privilege and an honor to be a part of Mepham's Class of 2020 graduation celebration. Of course, we had all hoped to celebrate this auspicious occasion together as a class, but the current pandemic has thrown a curveball into not only our graduation plans, but the world's trajectory as well. We must not let this moment in our history define our futures. It will, however, always be a part of who we are and where we come from, and will undoubtedly serve to motivate and remind us to look towards the future while simultaneously embracing the past. Our journeys to reach this moment have all been as different and unique as we are as individuals. Each of us has overcome our own obstacles, trials, and tribulations as we forge our paths to becoming who we are and who we aspire to be. I think back to us as overzealous and naive middle school students. No longer in elementary school, we were prepared for everything and anything except lockers. Regardless of which elementary school we came from, we quickly bonded over our shared and ubiquitous fear of lockers. It was only a matter of time before we successfully learned to navigate not only our locker combinations, but the stairways and halls of middle school as well. Before we knew it, we were sailing on towards our next seemingly daunting challenge, high school. It took time, support, encouragement from teachers, administrators, family, and friends, and yes, more than a few mistakes along the way, but we all adjusted and found our niche at Mepham. Here, we were encouraged to try new experiences, whether they were classes, sports teams, clubs, or a myriad of other activities. Mepham provided us with a treasure trove of possibilities and choices. Whether it was through a challenging course, a dedicated teacher, or an influential extracurricular activity, we discovered our passions and interests that will in turn steer us towards our future goals. Perhaps, even more importantly, we also learned what did not resonate with us and adjusted accordingly to discover what we did have an affinity for. It is this determination and ability to shift our focus and alter our paths when necessary that will help us chart our way through any formidable challenge we encounter. In the face of this pandemic, the class of 2020 has stepped up to creatively circumvent the COVID crisis. Some of us have utilized skills acquired from our time at Mepham by making masks and other personal protective equipment for our frontline heroes. Others have contributed by arranging or participating in food drives to aid those in need. Still others have mitigated the current state of affairs by keeping the Belmore Merrick Central High School District community informed and connected by creating informative news stories, heartwarming videos, and fun virtual game nights. We have all risen to the challenge of distance learning and proven to ourselves and the world that the class of 2020 will persevere and find ways to make the world a better place. Our teachers, administrators, family, friends, and parents have offered support, guidance, comfort, encouragement, and love all the way along our journey. We do not express it frequently enough, but thank you for everything you have done and will continue to do. To the class of 2020, I humbly impart this advice. If you are ever feeling gloomy, hop on an elevator. It's quite the uplifting experience, and it helps you on multiple levels. Congratulations, and may the force be with you always.
Thank you, Spencer. With the highest academic average of the class of 2020, Alyssa D. Gardy has earned the distinction of valedictorian. Alyssa has been recognized as an AP Scholar with distinction and excels in everything she does, all while contributing countless hours to various projects and activities. She is self-directed and talented across all academic disciplines. Throughout high school, Alyssa has been a committed member of Mepham's Advanced Science Research Program, where she has devoted countless hours to collecting and analyzing data, and delivering presentations on how clothing choices can alter perception. Alyssa will continue her pursuit of excellence next fall at the University of Virginia as an Eccles Scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, here to speak with you is your class valedictorian, Alyssa D. Gardy.
Good morning, everyone. What an honor and privilege it is to be standing here before you today. 2020 graduates around the world have been robbed of the graduation ceremony they have rightfully earned. And just a few weeks ago, we ourselves were unsure if we would get our moment walking across the graduation stage. It's thanks to good fortune, patience, and devotion of the Mepham High School community that we are here today, and the efforts of everyone involved in enabling this ceremony haven't gone unnoticed. Thank you to Mr. Gomez, Dr. Karn, Mr. Safina, Mr. Del Rosario, faculty, staff, families, and everyone who worked so hard to make this ceremony possible. Getting to see all of my friends and knowing that we are getting the graduation we deserve is all I could ask for, and I'd never take such an opportunity for granted. Actually, if there's one thing in particular I've learned these past few months, is to never take anything for granted. Ever. One day I was busy with schoolwork, a math test, scheduled events after school, college visits, but 24 hours later, everything changed, and none of that mattered. As Charles Dickens once said, it's crucial to reflect upon your present blessings. If I'm being honest, this is far from the senior year any of us have envisioned. The world threw a curveball at us, turning upside down the year we were finally supposed to be on top. There were no blueprints, no how-to books, no history to follow, and each day brought a new level of the unknown. Yet, nevertheless, we refuse to be knocked down and embrace the time in our lives that is rightfully ours. COVID-19 doesn't define us. Our story doesn't start here, and it most certainly doesn't end here. Instead, our story has been developing over the years, and it's thanks to teachers, families, and friends who have stood by us that we are who we are today. So, when I reflect upon my present blessings, I'm thankful for my health, as well as the health of each and every one of you. For all of my teachers along the way, for challenging me and offering me the opportunity to explore my curiosities. For my friends, all of our late nights, inside jokes, group texts, bike rides, and bonfires that I'll cherish forever. And of course, for my family, for supporting and believing in me from the very beginning, and for filling my childhood with love and happiness. I don't say this nearly enough, but thank you to my brother Justin for making me laugh and teaching me something new each and every day. To my sister Jordan for reminding me to have fun and enjoy the little things. And of course, thank you, Mom, for your constant optimism and endless encouragement. And thank you, Dad, for cheering me on and for believing in me from the very beginning. You've inspired me to give things my all and have taught me that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is always giving that little extra. You guys are my biggest fans, and words can't explain how grateful I am for everything you've done for me. I have the best family in the world. This ceremony isn't the only graduation my family, like many other families, has had to experience this year. My younger sister had her 6th grade drive-by graduation a few weeks ago for her elementary school, and watching her days come to an end brought back floods of memories of my own. In 6th grade, everything was so easy. The biggest decision you had to make was who to play with at recess, and no one criticized you for dreaming big. For those of you from Dinkelmeyer, you may even have faded memories of my graduation song. With friends and teachers to show you the way, we'll have to grow up and move on someday. How in the world is that day today? I often think of younger me, wondering what she would think of who I've become and what I envision for my future, which is fun to think about, but unless any of you have got a time machine that you're willing to share, I'll never actually know her perspective for certain. By the way, if any of you do happen to have a time machine, please find me after this ceremony. Though in actuality I can't speak with past me, I'm more than capable of addressing the future me. And an assignment from my AP Literature teacher, Mrs. Seroff, has given me the perfect opportunity to do so. The week after AP testing, our class was told to write a letter to ourselves that she will deliver in 10 years, which is honestly one of the coolest assignments I've ever had. After the initial fears of sounding childish or completely predicting wrong subsided, I found myself at my dining room table in 2 in the morning simply writing. I will not be sharing my entire letter with you today, partially because half of what I wrote won't make sense to you anyways, and partially because I still want the contents of my letter to be a surprise for my future self. But part of my letter stuck in my mind as I wrote this speech, so I would like to share it with you now. Looking back, I enjoyed my time in high school. I truly did. I achieved what I set out to do, stumbled upon new opportunities, and pushed my limits, all while having the time of my life with friends and family. Nevertheless, I can't help but demand that something changes as I embark upon this new chapter in my life. As I enter college, all the cards are in my hands. It's my responsibility to make my dreams the forefront and choose the unknown over comfort. In high school, it was easy to settle into a schedule and go with the flow of everyday life. But consistency is boring, and as said by P.T. Barnum, comfort is the enemy of progress. When reading this 10 years later, I hope I can proudly say I've continued to push the limits and have refused to settle with what's easy. Dad often reminds me now not to lose sight of the bigger picture, but I think it's just as important to love the journey, not solely the destination. Future me, I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Never take one single breath for granted. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance, never settle for the path of least resistance. What are the odds I'm still listening to that song on repeat, I Hope You Dance by Lee Ann Womack? And I'll stop my letter there. The future isn't set in stone, and I encourage you, no matter your age, to speak to your future self, because you're in full control if future you will listen. Before I go, I would like to leave you with one last thing. When navigating through life, Dr. Seuss has advised to be who you are and say what you feel. Let's break that down. Be who you are. Class of 2020, I want you to close your eyes. And no, don't worry, I won't use this time to run back to Mepham for air conditioning, no matter how tempting that sounds. Actually do it though. Close your eyes and reflect back on the past 4 years. What legacy will we as a class leave behind? We're seniors, sure, victors of sports championships and academic competitions alike. But more than that, we're spirited and cheer each other on. We're involved in our community, in projects both big and small. We've stood in unison at walkouts and protests, worked beside one another at holiday charity events, stayed in touch when the world went viral. As for saying what we feel, we've never been afraid to fight for what's right and use our voices to fight for change. We've known for years how to remain social while staying at a distance, and have mastered technology like no other generation has. Now, I want you to take this a step further. Picture yourself. Who are you? The real you. The you who has persisted through 12 years of schooling, has made and lost friends, faced challenges from daily life to a global health pandemic. A child, grandchild, perhaps a sibling. A compilation of ups and downs, challenges and successes, dreams, ideas, and memories unique solely to you. Today and every day, fight for who you are. Say what's on your minds and don't quit until your goals are your accomplishments and your dreams are your reality. Today is just the beginning, and from here on out, you're in full control. Class of 2020, you can open your eyes now, because our graduation year may seem more blurry than 2020 vision suggests, but it'll be the embracement of the selves we just envisioned that will lead to our future successes. The legacy of 2020 will be remembered for our resilience, kindness, and determination in spite of hardships. And the legacy of you will be defined by your self-confidence, the use of your voice, and your journey that lies ahead. Behind you are all of your experiences that have pushed your limits, opened your eyes, and led you here today. Before you is a milestone in your life, with friends and family here to cheer you on. Ahead of you, as you walk across this stage, lies your diploma, a symbol of your hard work and recognition of your successes to come. And waiting for you is the rest of your life. So make the most of it, because we only get one shot at this. I want to personally thank my peers for the countless memories, both in and out of school, and for making my years at Mepham High School unforgettable. I am forever proud to call myself a 2020 graduate. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
Thank you, Alyssa. And let's thank all of our student speakers and Stephanie for being our Master of Ceremonies this morning. They all did a very nice job. We will now pay honor to all of our graduates as we call them to the stage to receive their diploma case. I ask the assistant principals to join me, Dr. Karn, Mr. Safina, Mr. Del Rosario, to assist in reading the names for the candidates of our graduation.
Brian LaRosa. Noah Lasham. Rocco Law. Natalie Lewu. Nicole Wiesenring. Colin Lease. Nicholas Lease. Kylie Lindbaum. Danielle Linnekin. Nicole Lippert. Benjamin Loatman. Daniel Lopez. Lindsay Lavarco. Erin Lutz. Erin Mass. Nabiha Malik. Lauren Manzello. Spencer Mattis. Nicholas May. Jillian Mayer. Sophie Mayo. Caitlin McArdle. Jack McCarthy. Aiden McCormick. Tyler McElwee. Joseph McGovern. Laura McManus. Michaela McNulty. Angelina Mengisopoulos. Milena Migliaccio. Isabella Milgam. Eric Miranda. Adelson Molina. Brandon Mondello. Katie Morgan. Andy Moreno. Brianna Morse. Dale Motley. Timothy Mulligan. Christian Mercia. James Murray. Jeremy Napier. Nicolette Napolitano. Dara Justiniano. Erica Nazimowitz. Kimberly Nietzsche. Narezna Narena.
Let's all give a round of applause once again. Before I begin the confirmation, I would like to thank a few people for making this ceremony possible. Dr. Karn, Ms. Kratzer, Dr. Ruscio, our department chairs, security officers, our clerical team, my secretary, Ms. Peggy Schroeder. Thank you for arranging the components of the ceremony. I also want to thank our very supportive Central Office Administration, Mr. Harrington who's here, our Board of Education. Some of them were not able to attend, but congratulate all the graduates on their achievements. Thanks to the Mepham parent organizations. I know one of our co-presidents of the PTA is here, thank you. Our site-based committee, thank you. And a very special thank you to Mr. Pennington and his outstanding custodial staff for helping make all this possible. So let's give them all a round of applause. And last but not least, you see them behind the cameras, you hear them behind me in the press box, our broadcasting teachers and students for not only recording the ceremony, but for also working so hard on getting this ceremony live streamed. Again, a link to the full ceremony will get emailed to everyone by Tuesday. Now is the time you've all been waiting for. Will the members of the class of 2020 please rise? Members of the Board of Education, I certify to you as trustees of the Belmore Merrick Board of Education, and Mr. DiTomaso, our superintendent, that the students before you have completed the required number of credits and passed the New York State exams in order to participate in this ceremony. Graduates, before my final words, you may move your tassels now from the right side to the left. With the authority vested in me by the New York State Education Department and the Belmore Merrick Board of Education, I declare you, the class of 2020, graduates of Wellington C. Mepham High School. Congratulations. We are going to proceed now with the recessional. Please wait for a staff member to direct you off the field. As you quickly walk through the building, you must maintain 6 feet between you and the group in front of you. Also, please wear your masks while in the building. All graduates will receive their diploma, any awards, and a gift from Mepham at the end of our main lobby. Cue the music.
Congratulations! That was awesome. So good.
Yes. Very
Great.
nice ceremonies.
How you doing, right?
Sucks. Not gonna lie.
I hear you.
But, you know, I get to see all of them. So
I know.
that's a
It's
plus.
great. Awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Guys, congratulations, Caitlin.
Congratulations. Tell Chris hello.
My heart was breaking for you guys as well.
Hi, Grandma.
My heart is breaking for them as well. Congratulations, Aiden. Tyler's like, can I start the next group in? He's good. He's good. He's done a good job, so. So Dara Justiano, who's a senior, is my stepdaughter now. Yes, so we got married last year. So it's been weird. Thank you. And then COVID went through there. But you know, being a part of their lives has been tremendously. That's what everybody says, but I know. Oh, thank you. I know you do. Because I should be settled in.
Congratulations, Isabella. Thank you. Right down by the board. Congratulations.
I'm the water boy.
Congratulations. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
let's say